Here's my indoor pond. Just give you a rundown real quick. There's my medium-sized redtail. He's about 25, 26 inches. And then there's that redtail. He's probably 18, 19, 20. Both that are about 9 months old. Got a giraffe-nose cat right there. He's probably about 1.5 foot. About a 2-foot iridescent shark right there. Another one about 2 foot, but a little bit smaller. About 1.5 foot Asian redtail hybrid. And there's my big guy. There's my 30-inch redtail right there. Underneath this duck, who might come give us a shout out. Yeah, there he is. He's a big boy. He's like 1.5 to 2 years old. Got some Oscars over there giving us a little threat display over there. I think they're mating. I don't know. So we'll see about that. But I got a little red, really pretty ruby red right there, and just a regular tiger. Another regular tiger. Let's see. Right down here, if you look closely, it's a little dark, but that's a marbled Akara catfish. He's about 2 feet, maybe a little bit more. Right there is the hybrid. Like I say, he's about probably 1.5 foot, 2 feet, close to it. And I've got about a 1-foot-long pleco in here somewhere. He's some type of carnivore. Pleco, I don't know exactly what he is. I think that's him right there. Yeah, that's him right there. Once again, hard to see, but he's got some spots, so I don't think he's a common. But I don't know if you guys can see him right down in where that light's glaring. Oh, there's the duck. There he is, right there. He's really pretty. He's got like spots on him. I don't know. I don't think he's a common. He might just be a variation of a common, but he looks different to me. So that's basically the rundown on that. I'm gonna go ahead and feed them for you guys. I feed every other day. I either do shrimp or tilapia, but tilapia is just super cheap, so that's kind of usually what I go with. Any type of whitefish is perfectly fine, or turkey. I've seen people feed them turkey, hot dogs, you know, all kinds of different variations of food, but I try to mix it up a little bit, but they do get tilapia most of the time, and they seem to eat it just fine. But so they're gonna go crazy. So I cut them into pretty good sized chunks for the pond, and then I do smaller chunks for the other fish. There's the big redtail. Now that little redtail, it seems like he eats the most, honestly. He hasn't grown quite as fast. I got him as kind of like a rescue. I got a really good deal on him. I got him and a bunch of, another hybrid I got in this other tank, 2 other hybrids I got in this other tank. One's an Akara marble hybrid, and the other one's a tiger shovel-nose redtail hybrid. And I got those 2. I got the giraffe nose right over there. And I got this marbled Akara right down there. All those fish for 130 bucks. So, but they were in 150-gallon tanks, so they were not in a properly sized aquarium by no means. So, yeah, they make quick work of that. Them 4 tilapia fillets. I don't know. I may have to upgrade it. Upgrade feeding them, because they just seem to just eat and eat and eat and eat, which I know that's what all these fish do, these hybrids, redtails, all of them, but I don't know, it's just like they're just never ending. And being the one downside I can honestly say about having a pond is it's hard to see fish from the side, because the fact of the matter is obviously you're looking down on them, so you really can't see if they've got any damaged fins. You can't see if they've got you know, any type of bacterial infections, diseases, if they're on the bottom of their belly or on the very bottom of their side, you know, it's hard to tell. And then you also run into the fact of the matter is that you can't see how full their belly is. And see, I like to look at my fish, and if I see a nice gut on like my catfish, for instance, it's hard to tell on like Oscars and stuff, but on your various catfishes and everything, it's very easy to tell whether or not, you know, they're full. Well, of course they slow down and they'll just chill and not move much when they're really full, but bottom line is I like to be able to see a fish from the side. There's some advantages to it, but obviously building a 1,500 gallon aquarium that's 10 foot by 6 foot by 4 feet tall is just impractical unless you've got plenty of money. And this isn't big enough at all, by no means. I'm definitely going larger than this one day. And it's only at like 1,000 gallons right now filled up. It'll do, I think the max I would go is like, it's like 1,450 something gallons if you get it like 42 inches tall, so you're about 6 inches from the top of it. That's about as high as I would even imagine going, but the thing is, it's just really, I don't feel like at this moment that I need that much water. I mean, it's the same surface area, it's just taller water, and most of these fish stay towards the bottom anyways. So, I mean, the Oscars come up to the top in the iridescence, but most of the other fish, they stay at the medium to bottom range. So it's really not doing me any different than just having, it's just the water volume's the only difference. But yeah, I like to have fish in a tank that you can see them from the side, basically, because of the sheer fact that they're easier to see how healthy they are and how they're doing and everything. And speaking of that big redtail, his whiskers are starting to grow back. They were completely like chewed off because when I got him on the rescue, he just was in bad shape. Looked like he got tore up in the net and everything. So everybody else seems to be doing good. This iridescent shark, his fins are starting to heal up too, but they were pretty bad. And then this other black one, he's missing, like, if you see that white spike, he's missing like half his fin. So I don't know how deep, you know, their fins will grow back, but I think it will, but we'll see. It's been about a week or two that they've been in here. I think it's been about 2 weeks actually. So, and they all seem to be doing good. Pumps running well, everything like that. Fish are doing good. Well, that's pretty much all I got in here. I think I got 15 fish, so I'm at capacity, I would say. I don't want to go any more than this. I've got a 4,500 gallon per hour pump, so we're getting a lot of water turnover. And I've got a lot of beneficial bacteria in my trash can filter and stuff, but like I say, and I got a 1,200 gallon per hour power head over there. Just get some surface agitation, some more of it, and keep all the stuff to the center so this pump can pick it up. But yeah, I think it's doing pretty well. Fish seem to be doing good. I do a water change in every one of my tanks about once a week, except for my 125. I don't do water changes on it very much because the fish load's so low. And I've got 2 hang on the backs and a canister filter. So yeah, it seems to be doing good. I think I'm about to move here in a couple weeks, so I'm going to, when I set the pond up again, I'm going to put the Fluval FX6 on it, so it has some extra filtration. But right now, everything's backed up with Amazon, and I ordered some new gaskets for the Fluval filtration. Not gaskets, new O-rings, and they haven't come in yet, so I'm waiting on that. But once that's done, it'll be going on this pond to add to the filtration, which will keep the water crystal clear, which, as you can see, in my opinion, I think for a pond setting, and compared to most ponds, I know it's not an outdoor pond, but like people's ponds I've seen in their houses, seems to be pretty clear. Got a bunch of buffing pads in there, and there's sand and gravel on the bottom to mechanically filter it and biologically filter it. So I'm actually pleased with how it is, just how it is, you know. So, but we'll see where we go from here. That's all I got on the pond. So if you want to move on over, we'll move on over and check out the 125. I threw some rocks in here together. There's all my tiger barbs. I threw all these rocks in the middle and stuff, and that piece of driftwood. I think it came out nice, and then I just threw that in there just for them to have something to hide under for the clown loaches and stuff. But seems to be doing pretty good. This is all just temporary. I'm going to rescape this tank and make it actually look like something when I move. But right now, it's just, I had some extra rocks, threw them in there, seen how it looked, and I don't think it looks bad at all, honestly. It looks pretty cool. But I got a little Jack Dempsey in here. Right there, little guy. He runs the tank. Bunch of little tiger barbs, bunch of little Corey catfish, and then some big 8, 9, 10-year-old clown loaches I've had for years that grow really damn slow. They're nice, very beautiful ones. About 4 or 5 inches, 5, 6 inches probably, I'd say. Don't worry, I'm feeding you. So, and here's my Azul peacock bass right here. Sometimes they call them blue bass, blue peacock bass, and I've heard them called Paquiti or Paquito or some shit, something like that. But it took me forever to find out what bass this was, because it's not. I knew it wasn't a Tementus. I knew it wasn't a Cowberry. I knew it wasn't, you know, the Ocellaris or something of that nature. Because he doesn't have any red on his body. He's only blue, and then has the nice stripes on him and the nice tail. So I just could not figure out what he was, but I'm about 100% he is an Azul peacock bass. Because, you know, as when everybody knows, if you've owned a peacock bass, when you buy them as babies, they're very hard to tell what they are. So yeah, he's turned out to be pretty big. He's getting pretty big. He's about, I'd say he's 8, 9, 10 inches now. Easy. So, and I got a couple little Oscars I'm growing out. A little red Oscar right here. I'm not really pleased with his coloring. We'll see how he does. He's colored up quite a bit since I threw him in this tank, but I'm still not really pleased. And I'm not really pleased with that one either. It was sold to me as supposedly a lemon Oscar, because it had more of a yellowish tint to its body when it was a baby, but definitely just a albino tiger Oscar. And then that's just a regular tiger Oscar. And then this is my buddy Owen, who I've had for years. Or I just rescued that. He's about 10 years old, 11 years old. Poor guy was in a 29-gallon tank almost his entire life. So when I put him in this 265, man, he had a heyday. So yeah, and then this is my prized fish. This is probably my most expensive fish in my collection. I don't know. I've heard they're pretty expensive. I found babies online for $100, but that's my Polyipterus ornatopinus. Biker, Bashir, I don't know. I've heard it all. He's getting pretty big, pretty healthy. There's my big hybrid I'm growing out to put in the pond. He's big enough now, but he's a little small, so I'm going to chill out a little bit. And then you can't see him, but there's another hybrid in there. He's a tiger shovel-nosed Marlboro cat. So right now we're going to feed them. Maybe they'll come out. They usually do. I've never seen them actually go inside that, so that's a first. But we'll go ahead and feed everybody. It's peacock bass, man. They are vicious fish, man. When it's food time, they don't mess around. They're so fast. There's the big hybrid. He decided to come out. I apologize for the glare. Maybe that helps. Yeah, there's my big hybrid. He's probably, I'd say, 15, 16, 17 inches. I don't know. He's not too big. But he ain't very small neither. Let's see if there's the little hybrid, the little Marlboro collar. I don't know if you guys can see him. He just looks like a normal, to me, he just looks like a hybrid, tiger shovel-nosed redtail hybrid, but it's just more defined, just spots instead of like bigger, like leopard spots, instead of just all these little bitty ones. So that's him. If you guys can see him. Yeah, he's beautiful. couple people on YouTube I saw had them. I didn't know exactly what it was. I just heard them call it hybrids, you know, and I'm like, that is not a Redtail Tiger Shovelnose hybrid, because I've had ones before. I've had one before this one, and this is the one I've been growing up, and then I got the one in the pond that the dude gave, a buddy of mine gave me, and that's what they look like. So when I saw that other one, I was like, that's not a hybrid. So, or it may be a hybrid, but it's not a Redtail Tiger Shovelnose hybrid. And come to find out, it is indeed a Marble Takara Tiger Shovelnose hybrid. Which, honestly, I've seen YouTube videos of them. There's a guy on there, can't think of his name, but he's got that 1,200 gallon indoor pond and a bunch of 200 gallon tanks plus. Oh man. But he's got a pretty good size Marble Takara hybrid in his videos. And Matt's Monster Fish has had a few of them too, and I noticed that that's what it was. That's how I put two and two together. I don't know where I saw it at, but somebody said something about, oh, this is a Marble Takara Tiger Shovelnose hybrid, and I was like, okay, well, that's what I have. I didn't know that. So that's everybody in here. Pretty basic. 300 grow out basically. I plan on, I don't know what I'm going to do with this tank, because once I grow out most of these fish, they're going to go in the pond. If not that pond, I haven't decided yet. I may do a full-on 300 gallon albino tank. I may bring that albino Oscar out of the pond. I don't know. I like the albinos in the pond. I don't want to move him in there because he's so old. He's like 10, 11 years old, and I just don't feel comfortable putting him in a pond with a 30-inch redtail and, you know, larger fish that are going to give him a little bit more stress than I think I'd be. Just like stressing out an old man, you don't want to do that. So I think he's going to be dedicated. This tank's going to be dedicated to him for sure. Oh, his name's Owen, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but so I'm definitely going to just lay low with him in here. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to do a big African cichlid tank or something like that. Definitely get some decorations in here, get it looking good again. It used to look real nice, but when my redtails got so big, they started destroying my tank and rearranging it how they pleased. So yeah, so bass, when he gets big enough, he's going in the pond. Same for this Oscar, or not this Oscar, but these little Oscars. Definitely this black one. He's going to go. He may end up going. I may rehome him, and I may rehome him because I'm just not really pleased with their color pattern, but at the same time, I kind of like him because he's got more white, and I've never seen one with so little coloring on him and just being solid white like that. So he may stick around. We'll see. But right now, this is basically it. I'm sorry. Like I say, I'm really sorry for the glare, but so yeah, so that's my big hybrid. He's actually put on tons and tons of size in the last month or two. So he may be, when I move, he may just go into the pond at the new house. I don't know, we'll see. But well, that's my tanks up here. I got some planted aquariums upstairs in my living room and my room and everything, but they're in bad shape right now. I gotta rescape them, redo it, put some effort into it. Kind of let it get away from me and stuff like that. And this is my little 10-gallon grow out / quarantine tank. I threw some plants in there that just weren't doing good in some of my other tanks, so I'm trying to grow them back out. But I just threw a little goldfish in there. I got a little Synodontis Valentiana or Valentina, whatever, and he's full. And then I've got this little bristlenose pleco right here, and that's about it for this. Well, thanks guys for tuning into my video. If you have any questions, anything you want answered, any videos of species or something like that, or heck, if you want me to get out my redtails and catch one up and get it out and hold it in my hands and just see the sheer size of these fish, and that it should not be sold in pet stores. I mean, that one don't look that big, but I'm telling you what, that's a big fish. If you were to catch that in your lake or at your house, I mean, that's a big catch. I mean,
and they eat a ton. They make a lot of waste. I mean, it's just not a fish that needs to be sold in our pet stores. And if you see one, don't buy it, because the reason why they're selling them is because people are buying them. And I mean, if you've got the tank to take care of it, you've got the pond, whatever it may be, go for it. You're living in Florida, you can just put it outside in the pond. You know, South Florida, go for it. But if you don't have the means and the time and the money, which I barely have the money and time, but I make it work. You know, it just depends on how you want to do it. But it's a huge commitment. It's a lifelong commitment. These things live 15, 20 years. These iridescent sharks get bigger than the redtails, you know. And I would never own an iridescent shark I would never buy one. I highly disagree with them being sold in pet stores. But like I say, I got these on rescues. They were given to me, so I kind of had no choice. And I'm not gonna like let a fish die or kill a fish or anything of that nature. But I just don't get it, why they are continuously sold. And I don't agree with Oscars being sold because the same scenario. I mean, I rescued Owen, my 10 or 11-year-old Oscar over there, big red, albino red, and he lived for 10 years in a 29-gallon tank. I mean, that's sick. You know, it's sad stuff. And I know it's a fish to some people, but these fish live longer than your dog. So does that make this fish more valuable than your dog? I mean, it lives longer, so it's clearly more evolutionized than a dog is. I mean, that it can live 20, 30 years with proper care. So, I don't know. It's just something to think about. Sorry about rambling on. But anyways, this is what I got going on. If you guys would like to see some more updates on my pond and everything, let me know. And tell your friends about me. And please subscribe and comment, like this channel and everything. And I'll keep putting out content. Thank you guys for your time. And y'all have a blessed day. Doing out.